tales untold. Spinning the wheel, let the stories unfold. Catch us in the vibe where the chatter grows. With a pair that keeps you on your toes. What's the buzz, what's the word? Spill it fast, haven't you heard? Bruddc and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Bruddc and Kitty show.
Pardon my French. Good afternoon, good people. You're watching the Bruddc and Kitty show. Kitty, it is Monday morning. How are you on this lovely day?
I'm good, thank you. I finally got back to the gym. I got to the gym, and I've told you all week that I've had things going off with Mum. So I finally got back to the gym, and God, does it feel better? You know, when you've been. I know I always say it, but it's one of those things that I always say to people: go and do it, and you'll feel 100 times.
What do you do? What do you do when you go to the gym?
This morning I did glutes and legs, and then I did a HIIT class, and then I did Zumba. I stayed for Zumba.
Oh,
Very
nice.
2.5 hours. So I hit it. You know, I did the stepper and bits and bobs, and I think sometimes you just have to remind your body, because your body loves it. Your body loves a good.
Yeah, it does. It does. And Snap, by the way, as well. I actually ran to the gym today and got a 45-minute session in. So I'm feeling achy, but I'm feeling good. Like, you know, I'm feeling good. That's the main thing. It's Monday. Hopefully, I'll be coming there tomorrow and I'll be saying, yes, I've done another day. But we started. It's a start. It's a good start to the day.
How's the neck? Because you've had a neck problem.
Well, you know, one of those ones where you forget about pain and someone mentions it and then you start feeling an itch. That's how I feel about that. Yeah. No. It's there's a tiny little malaise going on back there. But
yeah, I get it.
It's not too bad. Kitty, let's jump straight into it. Some very unfortunate news. The Bondi Beach attack has been all over social media. To a father and son, like, what makes a father and son decide that they're gonna like throw their lives away together, and in the most callous way start taking guns and start shooting poor innocent Jewish people that are on the beach? You know,
first day. And it's just. I mean, I won't pretend to understand the Jewish faith, because I don't understand Jewish faith, but I understand that this was the first day of Hanukkah. They were all celebrating on the beach, which is really nice if you can think about it. I mean, could you imagine celebrating on the beach for us right now? It would be awful. Yeah.
The sandy shores of Brighton Beach. Yeah. No sunshine.
Brighton, I've got Skegness in my nearest, but yeah, you know, these were families. These were people that were there, and then to literally open fire. And for religious reasons, that's what breaks my heart. But me and you were just talking about history. And if you go back in history, most wars, in fact, I would say sort of 9 times out of 10 are over religion. And it's so sad. Sad that so many people are losing their lives over beliefs.
Yep.
And it's horrible.
Yeah.
But well done to the guy.
Yeah, we got a video. Let's get the video up. You know, with these sort of issues, these sort of things that happen, you know, Muslims all get a bad name for what one bad person has done. But what should show people that there's some solidarity between the people is, you know, we had the incident in London. Coming into London from the train, where we had a Muslim train driver that stepped in, and now we have you know, a Muslim man barber. You know, came from Syria in 2006. Like, you know, some quite heroic stuff over here. Like, you know, not many people, and to show the resilience, not to shoot the guy as well. Like, you know, that's really because the guy, because he, you know, he done the right thing.
This video of a man wrestling a gun off one of the Bondi Beach attackers has been shared.
Let's mute you. He done the right thing by getting the gun. He was lucky because if he's 2 seconds late, that guy turns. He's got a shotgun. He's got a hole the size of a football on his stomach, or on his head even. So um, he's done the right thing. But he actually got shot by the son, I believe, because obviously he lets the guy go. He should have just kept him there as a human shield,
Yeah, you're a girl.
literally. But everyone's gonna say, I would have done this, I would have done that. In that situation, my man's got a shotgun. Most people are running for their life. That's what most people did. Shout out to Junaid as well, bro. Yeah, we'll be talking Man United later, buddy. Yes, we got a big game today.
I would like to think that I would do something like that. I don't know what I would do. I would like to think that I would do something like that. If he's got his back to me, doesn't realise I'm coming, I'd like to think that I'm knocking him to the floor. But like you say, to be able to not shoot him when he had that opportunity. Obviously, if he was coming towards you,
yeah, that's a different thing. You either freeze or you risk getting shot. What an absolute hero. But I think it's such a powerful message to the world out there. People want to label all Muslims as this and all Muslims as that. This man came from Syria. We destroyed their country. The West destroyed their country. This man should have gripes. He should have gripes. He should hate the West. That's what they. That's what everyone would make you think. These Muslims coming over, they hate you. No, this guy's working hard in Sydney. He's got his barber shop, and look, he put his life on the risk. But what surprised me as well is how I know fright or flight kicks in, but while that guy was aiming the gun at people, they were literally giving him hand gestures or something. Shoot me or something. Did you see that?
Yeah. It's just absolute madness. It's just absolute. I can never ever get. Me. I like to get inside people's brains, and I can never ever get inside a terrorist's brain. I don't understand it. I can't understand why you would choose violence that day. Why is that day? What was it? And like you say, it's a son and a dad.
Yeah, to say that's even Benjamin Netanyahu said it. This is no surprise. There's no surprise that the sort of the anti-Jew sort of stuff that's going on social media is absolutely insane. I've got to say it. It is insane. Yes, we can all agree what's going on in Gaza and Israel is bad. We can all agree on it. It's terrible. It shouldn't be happening. We can all agree on it. But I don't believe that the common, the everyday Jewish man has got much say in what happened. Look, 1 million of us went into London and said, no, we don't want to go to war with Iraq. The government don't listen. We really, and this is a side subject to go off, but I heard Boris Johnson the other day talking and saying that we've got to stand up to freaking Putin. That guy can shove one up his freaking biscuit, mate. He can shove one. Hey, listen, this is if they try and make us go fight Russia. If they try and make us go fight Russia for oil and all the rest of the nonsense that's going on, I'm telling you, there will be a big coup in this country. There will be a massive coup in this country. No one's going out to fight Russia. No one wants any part of that. Ukraine, the poor Ukraine have been roped into it, and people have been. Someone's gassed Ukraine up to tell them that they were going to be joining NATO, and all of this. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. So you got 5,000 people dying every single week in this war. You think British people want any part of that? The people with bad backs and bad necks and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Can't go to war. Sorry, my anxiety.
I've got a podcast at 3:00. I've got 2:30. I can't go.
Anxiety. I've got anxiety. My back's hurting. Do you know what I mean? I've got a delivery coming at 7 tonight. Sorry, can't do it. No, not happening. If you're going to send me to war with anybody, the one person I'm not going to go to war with is Vladimir Putin.
Oh, well, this is where you'll get loads of feminists popping up. You'll get loads of feminists popping up. Oh, we're women, we can't go. You'll get that stuff now. We don't want to be. We're out of our masculine energy now. When those shooters were there, there was no masculine women sort of coming out and saying, you need to stop. Sorry, we went off there. No, we stand with innocent people 100%, no matter where they are. Innocent people should not have to worry about being shot at the beach.
No matter what your religion, I don't care what your religion is. Everybody should be tolerant towards each other. This is what life is about. Life is about being tolerant to your neighbor. Doesn't matter. If you don't believe in the same things they believe in, none of your business. As long as they're not shoving it down your throat, it's. And I will say this: the extreme Muslims are the ones that open it down people's throats. Nobody else is, apart from the Mormons that knock on your door on a Sunday morning. But even then, they've stopped coming round because Lola doesn't like them. But you know, it's come on, just because.
I don't think this has anything to do with religion. I think this has to do with, oh, here we go, TikTok again with their appeal system and all the rubbish. Like, you know, good God, TikTok and their bloody nonsense. 1 second, guys. Let me just do this quickly. Decline, no, whatever. Something else. Oh, I can't even be asked to type. TikTok always doing some foolishness, isn't they? Always doing something. This clip is all over TikTok, like, you know, millions of views on some platforms. So there's nothing here that's wrong. Like, you know,
No,
TikTok, get some better AI, man. Jesus, you lot are going downhill over there.
I told you I went to them with that glitch, and all they keep sending me is the same reply over and over again. And I keep saying, I want to speak to somebody.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
AI. I want. This is what TikTok's like. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Sorry. Before I bloody got that bloody thing happen, I think that, you know, this had nothing to do with religion. This has to do with what's happening in Gaza right now. People are seeing innocent children getting shot, getting blown up, that the whole country getting destroyed, and this was going to create a backlash of people hating the average day, even just a normal person walking down the street, like, you know, that have no power, no influence. I don't think that there's many people that actually want to go to war and start destroying things and start taking people's bits and start regime change in their countries. Like, I don't think the general people want anything to do with that. This is all to do with the powers at the top, the big corporations at the top that says, guess what? I want that oil over there. I want that gas over there. Did you see Donald Trump? You know, Venezuela. He's got his military to go out and take the freaking oil tanker, and he's like, blase, oh yeah, we're going to take it and we're going to sell it. And he's done the same with Nigeria as well, taking one of their oil tankers and said, yeah, we're going to sell it. I think this is hot. This is the problem. You know, the normal people working 9 till 5 that love their country and stuff like that. They don't, you know, they want everyone to prosper so everyone can love their own country as well. But when you have governments stealing other countries' resources, guess what happens? They say, you know what? There's no hope for us here, and they put only a puppet, a mug, a sellout is going to be happy with taking millions of pounds, but having half of his country not able to have electricity, half of his country not able to have food, fresh water, even a sewage system. An absolute muppet and a puppet, you know.
I think this will be his downfall. Did you see? I sent you that video with Jimmy Carr, and he was talking about that. He thinks there's going to be a revolution, and they were like, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "What, against the government?" He went, "No, against the elites."
Yeah, for sure.
He says that's who it'll be against. It won't be a bit. It will be against the elites. He says it's already started. He says, because if you look at who's in like power at the moment and who's coming up and so on and so forth, you'll see that they aren't actually like your average politicians. He says, so eventually the elites are going to be ousted. I just want it to hurry up, because
what we're waiting on is us. We're waiting on us. Like, you know, already in some country, I can't remember what country it is, but the whole of their government has actually had to resign because everyone got together. I can't remember what country it was. I don't want to play with the screen. Someone tell me in chat, what country was it that everyone stopped working and that, you know, they shut the government down. Everyone had to leave. I can't remember what country it was, but this is what's going to happen. But guys, do you know what? What's stopping this is they're allowing us to be put against each other. Like, you know, they're dividing and conquering us, and you lot keep allowing them to do it. If we all come together, you know, we can say right, you know, because the corporations, the lobbyists, they say to these politicians, right, look, we're going to fund your campaign, get you in power, but we want a few favors. We want this oil over there. We want this gas over there. We want this gold mine over here. Like, you know, and they just sell out. These politicians just sell out. And then, you know, and they don't care if they're sending military to, like, they're selling army to and military to all different war zones and all over the place. Like, you know, we need to stop the elites, honestly. Like, you know, we need to stop them. Everyone needs to come together. We need to shut down the government and say, look, no more.
Yeah. Totally agree. Can I just say, both of us are not suicidal.
Yeah, for
Neither of
sure.
us
I,
are.
I, I felt a little twinkle in my heart there when I said that.
Yeah, one of them. Just in case,
Yeah,
neither of us have got those kind of
yeah,
thoughts. Just
yeah,
in case. So
yeah. If
we're
you notice any sponsors on my videos next week, that's because
yeah.
we sold out. It was either the gun or the money, and we chose the money.
Every
No, it was the noose. It was the noose. It was the noose or the money, and we chose the money.
every time. No, we've people have got to come together. We've got to put religion to the side. We've got to come together. Like you said, we've got to find a common ground. And the one common ground that you and both and I can both agree on is maybe people that touch children. So we start there.
Yeah, for sure. It's instead. I don't know what's going on with our justice system. It's a bloody joke. It's a bloody. Trigger warning, quickly, guys, as well. This is a domestic violence video over here. So trigger warning. I won't show it all, but it's a very, it's a very bad video. Let's just say, a guy beating up his girlfriend for whatever reason. I'm going to show a little bit of it just so people get context and stuff and see what we're talking about. I'm going to mute it as well, so hopefully. So he's dragged her down. This is a very muscular gentleman. Punches to the rib, punches everywhere. Someone comes out to save her, and he's giving it what. The worst part of this story is the judge felt, even with this video, the judge felt that no one was this guy didn't need to see his didn't need to spend a day behind bars,
Now,
and
I'm not a genius, right? And I don't claim to be the best person in the world at spotting things, but even I could spot that man's had boxing training.
yeah, for sure, those were punches to the those were clean punches to the ribs.
They were trained punchers. You can see that lad has had some training. So basically, I mean, I talked to my son about it because my son's a boxer, and I said to him, "Your hands now are weapons, right? If you get into any trouble, step away quickly." I says, because unless it's coming for you, your hands are now classed as weapons. So to me, he should have had the book thrown at him because he has had lessons, he's had training. Those hands are weapons. And to put them onto a girl, and she literally just stood there, didn't she? She didn't really say that.
That wasn't the first time she's had that beaten. Probably this is probably this was the last straw. Probably.
Probably, and I've always said that, haven't you? You always know when the last straw is because that's the one that gets put out there, and probably because a mum came out or whoever came out, and she can't deny it anymore. But that man's had training in boxing. So you tell me what's happening with our justice system. Tell me.
Honest to God, it just doesn't make sense. Honestly, you hear about them with all this money that they're going to spend on the budget and stuff like that. One thing we can all agree on: we want bad people off the street. We don't want them back on the street. We don't want them. Like there's certain crimes, like crimes against women, domestic violence. These are people that shouldn't be on the street. Like someone that's physically done some like grabbed the woman and took her into a bush and done horrible scandalous things. We don't want it. Like that person deserves to be put somewhere, another country, third world sort of system. That's maybe what we need to do. Maybe we need to build prisons in some undesirable countries where it's a lot cheaper to run and stuff, because these prisoners are what is it, like 15,000, 20,000 a year every prisoner cost us.
Epstein Island's free at the moment. Knock it all down, make them build their own thing. Dead basic.
Yeah, seriously. It just doesn't make sense. And one thing for sure I'll say as well, what we spoke about is, women need to choose better. These kind of men with tattoos on their face. I don't want to stereotype anyone, but sometimes you can tell. You can tell someone's a wrong, and he's a bad. You can just see by their face. They're violent. There's a violent sort of impulse. But I don't know the full story. I don't know if this was an ongoing domestic violent thing. He was calling her, and he was calling her the S word.
Yeah, right. There is nothing anybody could say to justify that behaviour. Even if she's with somebody else, even if she's done something else, leave her. Walk away. This is what we've got to start teaching our young lads.
That's true. That's true.
You need to walk away. Fists are not the answer, especially to a woman, especially to the weaker sex. And I'm sorry to say it, ladies, we are. My abuser was 5'6", probably 2 stone lighter than me. right? He could actually kick 7 bells of crap out of me, and I couldn't do anything because I was the weaker sex in that situation. It doesn't matter your size or anything. When it comes to men, and this is why we always talk about the trans thing in sports. When it comes to men and women, men are the stronger. Job done. There is nothing anybody could tell me. If I was on that jury, I'd have been like, nah, book at him.
I don't think it got to that stage. I don't think it got to that stage, did it? Like,
and this is why women don't come forward. This is why, because we go through all this, and you know what? She'll probably be walking along the street one day and he'll see her again and do it again because he's got away with it.
yeah, we seriously, there's, I've spoken to so many women that go through some of the most heinous crimes. Like one lady that I know, she went through something very heinous. Like, you know, she tried to prosecute the guy, didn't get prosecuted, weren't enough evidence. The guy, she sees the guy sometimes walking to the shops, like, you know, and like he's in the local area. Like, you know, this is, it's just so wrong. Like, you know, one thing I did try to say in that case was like, you know, you need to try and get out of the area. That's not good for your mental health. And, you know, and also being in the same house that it happened to you, and like, you know, you got to get out of there. Like, you know, that's a constant reminder.
Yeah, fresh start. That needs a completely exit plan. Fresh start. Go. Get gone. Have you seen the video of LBC News where one of the interviewers is interviewing this juror, and he said,
I saw you. Did you send me that? Did you?
I've sent it, you didn't I? And he said, I was the jury foreman, and there was this guy, and he'd been accused of essaying a woman, and we had you know, to make our decision whether he was guilty or not. He said, and we looked at what would happen if we found him guilty and what it would do to his life, so we found him not guilty. I'm paraphrasing, but
And I remember scandalous, and he said if he had to say, if he could do it all over again, he'd do exactly the same thing because he didn't want to ruin the guy's life. Like, you know, that guy should never make jury service again. Hopefully he won't.
Computer taken, because obviously there's something that he agrees with, because at the end of the day, he said, well, he'll go away and he'll think about it and he'll realize that these are the consequences for his actions. And I remember the guy saying, but what if he doesn't? What if he does it again? He says, well, then they'll throw the book at him. He says, so you're willing to put another woman at risk? And he went, yeah, I'd do it all again.
Yeah. You know,
why? This is why
it's mental. Like I've been saying this for a while, but men at the minute need to get their priorities straight and they need to fix up. And you know what's more important is, you know, we can't, most of the time we can't stop men in their bad habits and stuff, but we can stop them at children. And we have a couple of videos here, and yeah, quite scary, really. One more quickly, one more, same sort of time, same sort of thing. It's not just boys. It's not just boys. Right. 2 children there having their devices taken off them, and the boys smashing the TV, going full on berserk. This is like the risk of technology and the effects that it's having on young people. It's so important to sort of, I would just say, get rid of it. Honestly, it's not worth it. You know, I noticed that William said that his children don't have phones and stuff. Prince William talking.
Yeah. I totally agree. There are necessary children that need it. My daughter genuinely wouldn't be able to live without hers, and would probably do what that child's done. Probably not to that extent, but we'd have running and humming for at least, you know, till she got it back. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. Soft parenting isn't working, guys. Soft parenting, you know, I think we need to bring back.
I mean, that woman. I mean, I mean, that woman is where's the this woman here is just listen at her.
Stop! Hey! It's mine! I was playing! You ruined it! You broke the TV, you smashed my phone. I don't care! Oh my god!
Oh my god! Like she, to be fair, not everyone is equipped with the tools to deal with like a angry child or whatever, you know. But you know, there's a lot of kids out here that act exactly the same way. Like, you know, I had a thing with my son, like, you know, where I was like on the toilet and I saw him pacing, crying, upset, and everything. And I was like, "What's wrong?" I thought something was seriously wrong. And he was like, "There's a Pokemon there, and I haven't got any Pokemon balls, and I can't get it." I was like, "Just give me your goddamn phone and get in your bed." Like, you know, like honestly, to see someone going through a nervous breakdown, like a physical breakdown, because there's a visual sort of like, you know, there's a like a virtual sort of situation that he can't complete. Good God, like, you know, we need to be careful.
You know, my daughter, obviously, she has autism and she has learning difficulties and everything else. I have to explain this because it's part of the story. And she doesn't sleep very well. So she has iPads, and 3 o'clock in the morning, she's poking me. Mum, 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 the internet's gone off. Works out that Sky were doing an update, and they turned off the internet on everybody, so that 3 o'clock in the morning, who's going to be using it at 3 o'clock in the morning? It wrecked her head. Nobody slept for the rest of the night, pacing until it came back on. And as soon as it came back on, she was like, "Thank you." But that is extreme because Mia is the way she is.
Yeah, but that's autism. That's kids with autism as well. Like, you know.
What I'm saying is, but if I saw you see, you don't know
What do you see when you see them kids? Do you think that there may be some sort of other issues with them?
I did sort of make an excuse. I did think maybe there was a little bit. I mean, I usually can spot it, but it takes me a couple of minutes, and there wasn't enough sort of content for me to see it. To get that upset about taking that iPad, I would say that there's something. Now, what you don't realise about people with is they have special powers. And they can hear things that you can't hear, or they can feel vibrations that you can't feel, or they can smell things that you can't smell. Superpowers, really.
Yeah.
Now, if that iPad is the one thing that distracts them from everything that's going off around them, it will dysregulate them, and that can be what could cause that.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point, to be very fair. Like, you know, there's a lot of undiagnosed, there's a lot of overdiagnosis in like autism in children, but there's a lot of undiagnosis. Like, you know, I remember there's loads of videos, and I used to see this. There's a video of this kid, and he's like really beating his mum. It's really bad. He's beating her on the bus and stuff, and you can. When just on the surface, you could think, you know, he's just a bad kid. But because I've sort of done training, worked with children with autism, stuff like that, I saw it straight away. I was like, this kid's got autism, like, you know. And it's in America, you know, there's not a fancy system, fancy sort of like help and services available, like, you know. Autistic children can't help it, spoiled children can. And this is what I suppose this is what I am talking about. There's a lot of spoiled children with their devices that will act in a similar way, like, you know. So that's kind of where I was going. But
yeah, the difference is an autistic child, you sort of, you give them a little bit of leeway.
yeah, for sure.
That I would also sit down and talk to Mia the next day, you know, like with the situation with sometimes the satellite breaks, Mia. It's nothing to do with mummy. Mummy can't do anything. I can't climb into space, you know, and I have to explain things to her. Still doesn't stop it, but I will try. I also think we need to bring back discipline. And I'm not saying beating children. I'm saying, you know, and I know that when we was children, if we did something wrong, we were frightened of our parents.
Sure.
My mum would say to me, "You wait till your dad gets home." Right? I like that. My dad never raised a hand to me. My dad just had to go, "Oi," like that. Right up to the day he died. It would stop me in my tracks. What? And I think we've got this soft parenting is not working.
Nope.
It's a Goldilocks effect. what's happened is a load of children have grown up in too much discipline, and they've said, right, I am not going to discipline my child like that. My child is not going. So they've gone completely the other way, when there is a middle ground as such, that you've got to have respect from your children. You have to have that. You have to, because otherwise, how are they going to learn anything?
Yeah.
Because if you do not instill into those children at this moment, you've got to stop, and
Yeah,
you,
I think the problem is as well in this day and age, children are fully aware that you're not allowed to touch them. Like from a very early age, you're not allowed to touch them, and sometimes the fear of being hit is enough to stop a child being naughty, continuing bad behavior. And we're not, obviously, when we talk about this, we're not talking about battering. We're talking about a correction, like, you know. If I was naughty at home, I would get licked. Like my mum would have a spoon or a belt. Like, you know, African, Black, Caribbean families, you know, mums were beaten. Trust me, it's a well-known joke that Black mums like to use the whip, like, you know, like to use like to become doctore in the house, like, you know, a bit of Spartacus
but
analogy,
that's
no?
how they try and stop their children from, they try and get them to toe the line and to have respect and to be disciplined in life. You have to have discipline in life. You can't have kids going into a shop or something and
Yeah.
go, "Can't have it."
Just over to Spoon a second ago, he says that, you know, when he was younger, he was the only boy. My mum used to hit me and not my sisters, thinking it kept me in line. It used to make me act out more.
Yeah, there's a difference, isn't there? I mean, you've got to be equal with it. My mum was quite equal with it. She had two girls, believe me, and we were both near 6 foot. My mum was 4'11", but she had this long metal spoon, and I swear to God, she never missed with it.
Where was the normal target? Back of the legs?
No, back of my head.
Really?
Yeah,
Jesus. What sort of
yeah.
stick was it?
But when I was little, if I was naughty and she could get me, it was the back of the legs, just a quick. But normally it was just wait till your dad gets home. My dad was so scary. I mean, he was 6'3", 18 stone, and he had a voice. I mean, you know, I'm loud, but my dad was, oi, and it was, one of them.
Yeah,
And it was,
yeah,
he commanded.
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I know somebody as well. He's like 6'5", about 18 stone, and he's in the military. And he can do the same. He walks in and goes, oi, and it's what? And you've got to have that discipline in the house. I don't care who you are, what you are. Soft parenting is not working. It is
No.
not. Kids are
It-
going to school and disrespecting their teachers and learning sod all.
yeah.
Because
It's a catch-22 for me. It's a catch-22. I think some children, there needs to be a fear of consequences. Timeouts, I don't think they work. Like, you know, I think people just laugh at them. Go stand by the wall. Although my mum used to make me do that sometimes when she didn't fancy using the belt and stuff. Me and my brother used to find it funny, or she'd make us stand on one leg or something like that. Like, you know. But nothing wrong with a bit of discipline, I would say.
I remember one of my older brother, right? He was 18 at the time, and my dad kept telling him to get up and go and get a job, right? And he wouldn't get up. So my dad went into his bedroom and, would you like breakfast in bed, son? And he went, yeah, please, if you don't mind. And he went downstairs and he filled a bucket with milk and cornflakes, went in and just flung the lot. He went, now get the fuck out that bed and get a job. And do you know what he did? He did. There was no violence.
Yeah.
There was no violence. But we respected our parents, and there is no respect for parents. You see them talking to their mums and dads like absolute shit. Saying that, I remember, can you remember the old Argos book?
Yeah.
Can you
The big one, yeah.
Yeah. There was a bloke once, there was a lad, he was about 12, and he was whacking this kid with this, and it wasn't even for, this was battering. And I sort of argued with myself a little bit. I thought, do I go over and make it worse and say, you need to stop? Because, this was in the middle of the street. And in the end, I had to go over and say, excuse me, can you not do that? Can you stop, please? Because you're gonna hurt him really, really bad. And he was like, it's my fucking kid, blah, blah, blah. There is a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
There
For
is a
sure.
difference.
For sure. It's It's such a difficult one because, you know, some children, you see them, you think that kid needs a smack. Like, you know, there's a few. I don't know if I sent you I sent you the video of the girl when she's arguing with the man and he gives her a deck. Did I send you that video?
Yeah, yeah, you sent it me today.
The big punch, he knocked her down.
He just like,
And obviously it was wrong, but I would say I would always teach I would always say to women, don't try and fight men. Don't try fight men. Don't try get in their faces and trying to be like, yeah, come on then, because there are men out there that will hit you. Like, you know, and sometimes, and also there's that other video with that guy, and he confronts the little girl in front of her family, and he says to her, "Stop bullying my kid," and she goes, "Good, good, good," and he slaps her around the face, like, you know, that's a harsh one. But a lot of people, if you look in the comments, you look what the comments say. The comments say,
"Play with fire."
the comments say she needed that smack. She'll learn the better lesson for bullying. That smack that smack's the smack that her parents should have given her. That would have kept it. And you know, with boys, especially with boys, getting a smack, that smack to get you to keep you in line could be the smack that stops you from end up in prison. Like, you know, and unfortunately there's a lot of that. Like, you know, there's a lot of that in America, especially in America.
I genuinely believe we need to bring respect back into households. You know, we talk about family dynamics so much, and how much, especially young boys growing up, need that sort of father figure, that dominant role to be taught how to be a man.
They need the dominus. They need the dominus of the house, don't they?
Yes, we need a dominant. I am smart.
The dominus. Oh, we got a Spartacus fan, Kinky Spoon. Bro, you got to change that name, Mr. Spoon. Change that to Mr. Spoon. Set another one up for when you're harassing girls in their lives. All right, let's go on to Spartacus, shall we?
Yes.
Wow, Spartacus, blood and sand. What I might do, 2 seconds, I might stop the recording because this is different and it will help me. Let me just stop it on our other